escalation in the Middle East, examining the Nigerian government, how well they have fared over the years since 1960. Until this very moment, the Nigerian government is still unable to provide our people with basic necessity as good as fuel for energy purposes or needs of the people. We're just a week into the escalation in the Middle East. Nigeria is already facing energy crisis. There's no more fuel in our filling station. What went wrong? Since 1960 until this point, the Nigerian government is unable to provide the people with needed energy source. Yet, they've been refining, they've been exploiting the people's resources, claiming maintenance upon maintenance of the refinery, paying staff with bogus allowances in the NNPC, yet cannot boast of refining local petroleum products. This is a slap, it's a shame on the Nigerian government. Tonight, I welcome you to the People's Parliament. We are taking a look at the situation in the Middle East and how that has affected the Nigerian economy, how this will eventually affect the day-to-day movement, businesses of the Nigerian people. I'm your host, Mr. Ako Christian Oche on People's Parliament, and in extension, COPDEM Media TV. Please subscribe to COPDEM Media TV to get notification of our live prompts events, and we look forward to having you joining us subsequently for our online media programs. Please subscribe and encourage friends and well wishers in the movement to subscribe to COPDEM Media TV. Look at the situation in the Middle East. Iran is an oil producing country, same way as Nigeria. Saudi Arabia, an oil producing country, same way as Nigeria. The difference between Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Nigeria is that while these two other countries, in brackets, Saudi Arabia and Iran, are oil producing countries, they have facilities put in place to refine their crude oil. In the case of Nigeria, we have no refineries to refine our own crude oil. Therefore, we depend on exportation of fuel products, exportations from other countries. While we're already being carried away with jubilation, thinking maybe Dangote refinery has come to stay, blah, 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 we are hearing that there's no fuel. Dangote refinery is not crying as a result of the escalation in Middle East. Is affecting it. How? Nigeria has crude oil. So how should the escalation in the Middle East now affect the local production of fuel? The whole thing is exposed. Nigeria is exposed as it is now. We are already in a very difficult situation currently. I see schools, governments, markets, companies, right, shutting down in a few weeks' time because you cannot move an inch without fuel. I travel out across the metropolis, the Abuja city center, and I observe many filling stations are shutting down. They're shutting down for lack of food. When there is no PMS, there is no movement. It will now result in civil servants being unable to go to work. It will now result in nurses, doctors, cleaners, name it, pharmacists being unable to resume duty because of lack of fuel to power their vehicle. That is where we are going to. And it will now go beyond that. It will also affect the local farmer who will not have fuel to transport their local products from the farm or their homes in the bush to the city center and sell to us in the markets. We are getting there. In few weeks' time, if not we are there already, at least in few weeks' time, we will be there. All as a result of what? The government has failed to invest in Nigeria. We have had successive governments not paying attention to the developmental strategy of Nigeria. Ask the sitting president, what are his developmental strategy for this country? He has no answer. Yes, he has no answer for that. Over the years, they've been messing up with the Nigerian economy, messing up with everything, stealing, corruption, massive looting. That's all they do. Budget padding. They've not really cared about setting up fundamental amenities, fundamental productive sectors of the country that has to do with fuel. They are busy fighting Dangote the other time. Dangote too was busy crying at some point. Later Dangote went mute. They've agreed. And at the other day, who are those at the receiving end? The masses, you and I. And that's why those who sit back and say they are not bothered, they are not affected, no matter what, they will survive. I wish you luck in surviving. And let's see how you survive without fuel. Whether you start developing wings to fly, we will know. So we are all victims, and until we understand this, we cannot make an inch step forward. Good governance have a lot of positive vibes that it brings for the masses. When there is good governance, the government of the day will plan the future events and prepare adequately for it. For a war that is not even happening in Nigeria yet, in faraway Iran, Nigerian government is already giving you excuses why they are failing. You cannot imagine if the same war breaks out in Nigeria. It therefore means they will just they'll hand over governance entirely and say, well, because of the war, they can no more be able to provide anything for the masses. The election is coming. The election has consequences. And you must take it as a personal civic responsibility for you to vote. Get your PVC and ensure that you prepare to vote, because 2027 is an existential election and you cannot afford to sit back and do nothing. Your conscience, if you have one left, will not forgive you. If you think vote do not count, you should have a rethink on why politicians keep doling out cash on election day. They believe that it counts, and they know that it counts indeed. Because if votes do not count, persons like Goodluck Jonathan that emerged in that was pushed out in 2015 by President Muhammadu Buhari wouldn't have happened. It shows that votes actually count. So you must not give up on voting. Voter apathy has never helped the country to get better. Voter apathy has never helped those individuals who exclude themselves from voting. Voter apathy has not helped them also to get better. We are all inside the frying pan. We are being fried together. Whether you vote, whether you stay away from voting, whether you believe in voting or you don't believe in voting. It doesn't stop it. You don't get it. It doesn't stop it because we are all victims that lined up to happen. The Nigerian government will never change. The Nigerian government as currently constituted will never make any positive impact in the life of Nigeria. The same government that is lying, you don't get it. The Nigerian government is lying that disburse XYZ amounts of interventions. Ask yourself, who in your family has received that intervention? Who among your friends have received those interventions that the APC Tinubu government is claiming to have given out? And these are in billions and billions of naira. So you must wake up. You have no choice in this instance than to wake up. All it takes is for you to go register for your PVC. Upon registration, ensure that you follow up to collect your PVC. And when you collect your PVC, ensure that on election day, you are not found in the field playing ball. Ensure that on election day, you are not found in the bar taking and cancelling different bottles. On election day, you should be seen at the polling unit, voting, and not just voting, standing by your votes and ensure that the votes are actually counted and well properly documented. Corporate social responsibility is what every Nigerian citizen should be driving towards. We must get involved. The highest of all corporate social responsibility as it is, or civic responsibility as the case may be, is to vote on election day and ensure that your votes are actually counted. The ADC currently is also enrolling members. You can enroll as a Nigerian, register with ADC and ensure that the tenets of democratic principles are followed. You cannot be in the outside and make any contribution. You have to be inside. You have to get involved officially. This is much we can take in terms of party-related discussions. During the 2023 general elections, His Excellency Mr. Peter B was advocating for from consumption to production. People don't understand. Some people think you can make jest of him. But here we are today. We are in a situation where, if not quickly addressed, in the next 1 week, Nigeria will be in soup. If not quickly, very quickly addressed. Because as it is currently, 100 naira has been added to price of fuel. In case you don't know, yes, it has been added. And the price has shot from 850 naira to 950 naira. Waking up tomorrow definitely will be a different story. The increment will continue. Will continue until there's no more petroleum products to even sell. At that point, you will now understand we are in soup. We are all in the pot roasting. And the APC government has dressed the bed on how to roast every Nigerian. They have no plan for the present, not to talk about the future. They have never planned for present, they have never planned for the current. They are only interested in how to continue to siphon the Nigerian resources. They are only interested on how to continue to put Nigerians on a reverse gear. They never plan to make progress. They never plan to advance the human dignity of the Nigerian populace. All they are busy is padding the budgets. Even at miserably old age, as Tinubu is still interested on how to steal from the Nigerian coffers. And ask me, where is he taking this money to? Obviously, I don't know. The Nigerian leaders are so wicked. They are born wicked. They don't have any atom of sympathy for those they are leading. All they do is to struggle and gain political power. The moment they gain political power, the next thing is how to subjugate the people and continue to enslave the people, continue to steal from the people, continue to steal our resources, both raw resources. They steal everything away. They steal even things they do not need. Because how can you convince me that a man with one head will be stealing billions of naira? I mean, what are you taking these funds for? Basically, if you're able to feed your family, yourself, I mean, that should be okay, so that there'll be enough left for moving the country forward. But these people steal as much as they do not even need, as much as what even their great-great-great-grandchildren cannot even consume in the next millions of years. They steal shamelessly. And that is how we have all found ourselves in this current trajectory. Imagine paying all those bogus allowances to NNPC for producing nothing. I mean, ask me today, what is the Nigerian NNPC producing? What are they? Are they producing air? What are they being paid for? That NNPC should be dismantled because they have not succeeded in even rehabilitating the Nigerian refineries. Despite billions of naira they have been taken from the federal government allocation for years now, they've not been able to even revamp the Nigerian refinery. So, of what use is the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation, NNPC? Of what use? They're just there wasting Nigerian resources. And successful government come on board and go without finding the need to do something very, very critical. We must change this country. We must change. If we don't change this country, may we not live in regret for not changing this country. Because as it is now, when you are trapped in a situation, you struggle on how to come out of it. You struggle for freedom. Nigerians should be seen struggling for freedom. As it is today, we are trapped. How many Nigerians can actually afford air tickets? Even if you are given on a platter of gold visa to travel out of the country on assumption, because it's even difficult to come by, but assuming you are even given, how can you find your way out of this country? I think the life currently is so made difficult for the masses. And that's why 2027 is an existential election. It's not a usual cycle of election. It's an existential one. The present and future of Nigeria lies on 2027. And for you to have the confidence going into 2027 without registering for PVC, I'm surprised. No matter the outcome of 2023, if your votes did not count in 2023, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not be putting up his banner, posters, billboard everywhere from the one that he assumed office. Of course, he knows. He knows that votes of the people actually count, but he stole it. And thief is never comfortable in the midst of people. That's why, despite occupying the office, despite occupying Aso Rock, he found it difficult to be able to remain confident of himself. He has been fighting to make sure that opposition do not gain stamina. So, Mr. P.W. has said it. We have to move from consumption to production. During the 2023 campaign, those were his message: from consumption to production, from consumption to production. But instead of learning from his statistical analysis, some godforsaken moles, some individuals who never really saw anything good in what he was saying, were busy laughing. They didn't know they are laughing their way into suffering as we have currently. Because in a few days' time, you see Nigerians walking on the road. You see vehicles disappearing from the road. You see the transportation industry will crash because there is no more fuel. We are now into full-blown fuel scarcity. And this time around is different because the hidden hands that have been feeding Nigerians with fuel is now facing crisis of its own, which is in the Middle East. The Nigerian government have failed to the people, have been lying to the people about refurbishment of Nigerian refineries. They keep using that as a conduit pipe to continue to siphon government resources. Here we are. We have refineries that are no more working. The Dangote refinery, we thought some people ignorantly are celebrating. Where is it today? He's now complaining that it's been affected, it can no more supply fuel because of the situation in Iran. Nigeria have crude oil, so why should situation in Iran affect local production is what I really do not understand. So on this note, this is how far we can go. On tonight's topic, I've already explained how this whole situation affects the local farmer. He can no more transport his goods from the farm to the market, and that affects the food chain. And when any part of the food chain is broken, there is suffering, there is scarcity, and there is hike in prices of food products in the market. So when that is affected, of course, the fuel also affects the drivers, the commuters, transporters. They can no more access fuel. Some people are already projecting that this fuel hike may get to as high as 1,500. Well, it's possible. It can even go beyond because From the excuses we are hearing, if the situation in the Middle East do not improve or change for good, there is no way Nigeria can come out of this fuel scarcity. And if fuel scarcity prolongs for days running into weeks, the price will continue to go up. And the masses are the receiving end. That's the much we can take tonight. It's a lesson for Nigeria. It's a wake-up call for us to look inwards and start developing our economy. Start building necessary infrastructure needed to move Nigeria from consumption to production. Mr. PW said it. Instead of learning from it, some of you are making fun of him. But here we are today. We are all paying for that docility. We are all paying for that ignorance. Any country that is not producing all that basic necessity needed at this point, where there is an ongoing war in Iran with escalation to most parts of the Middle East, that country will not have a smooth ride. And Nigeria is one topmost among them, because we have the most useless leaders that have never think about helping the country to make progress in the right direction. They have persistently moved us in the wrong direction, taking us from civilization into terrorism. This is how they have persistently destroyed the Nigerian economy. All the gains from the oil boom were not utilized to build our own local refineries. Neither were they utilized to repair the existing ones. Today, we are all victims, complaining about the escalation in the Middle East and how it has affected the Nigerian economy. Local companies have vacated the country. They've all left us alone because we can no more sustain the exchange rates. The exchange rates gone so low, so high that doing business is not encouraged in Nigeria. Prices fluctuate at will, and companies cannot cope in such an environment where there is no even power supply. And we are still talking about power supply in 2026. That is how bad as it is. Nigeria cannot guarantee power supply. So what will these companies use for production? Even the refineries we are talking about. So, in the general terms, Nigeria as a country has failed woefully, has not planned for rainy day. Nigerian government have not planned for what is happening currently. The situation in the Middle East, they've not planned for it. All along, they've been lying to Nigerians, secretly importing fuel. Now, we are all trapped. There is no escape route. We are all trapped in it together. No matter how rich you are, how poor you are, we are all victims in this instance. And it takes a drastic measure to reverse this situation. Or we have to wait until the war is over in Iran. And you can only imagine how long that will take. It therefore shows that many people will die in this very short period of time because even health workers can no more transport to hospitals. They will be affected. Everybody is affected as this. We are all affected. There is no fuel to power the economy. Civil servants can no more go to work. They will now sit back, maybe going twice in a week or once in a week. I mean, can't you see the handwriting on the wall that this system that we have in this system, the entire system is collapsing? The entire system is we are already at the verge of just falling off. Is it governance? Is it democracy? Is it judiciary? Is it military? Is it police? Is it the economy, the naira? What is giving you hope that Nigeria will survive it? With as it is currently constituted, even our INEC is failing. We just have to rescue Nigeria. We don't have choice. Otherwise, we all get consumed in it together. No matter how far you are in your comfort zone, may Nigeria not happen to you. It happened to Ifunanya in Abuja. It happened to Somi, the Arise TV presenter, in Abuja. If it could happen to them all in Abuja, why will it not? Why do you think it cannot happen to you in your small local government or in your small community where you are living? It's already happening to us. You cannot even travel along the road without fear of being kidnapped. So it's happening to us. So ladies and gentlemen, please prepare for 2027. Ensure that you put your hearts together, mobilize, get organized ahead of 2027 because we have a country to rescue. And rescue Nigeria is a call that we cannot afford to toil with. We all have a civic responsibility to get involved. Go out there, go register for PVC, go register as ADC card carrying member through www.adcregistration.ng. Become a member. Get involved politically. It doesn't just solve itself. You must get involved. If you don't get involved, it doesn't just change itself. Nigerians must understand the need to get involved. Getting involved is very important, it's very sacrosanct, as the only pathway to changing the narrative is to get involved. Thank you for staying through until this time, until I come your way again. Tomorrow will be another interesting day. We pray that things get better. But prayers without work is vanity. Prayers without actions is whole wasted exercise. Nigerians, our parents have prayed so much while staying back and doing nothing about the oppressors. So we must not just pray, we must be seen to act. We must be seen to taking responsibility. We must be seen to adding our own quota towards a new Nigeria that is possible. When I look at the church, when I look at the mosques, the number of worshippers that are coming out every Sunday and Friday, I shed tears for this country. I shed tears. They go in there praying for things that ordinarily good government can help them to achieve. Praying endlessly for employment, praying endlessly for cure on grounds of health, right? Praying for other things that ordinarily good government will have helped you to achieve. In America, in UK, in all these countries, Holland, Italy, you can name them, Germany, they have food bank. Ask yourself, does Nigerian government have food bank? Do we have food bank? We don't even have. We have nothing. That shows that if there is any escalation, we cannot cope. We cannot even survive it. That's the summary. We can't just survive it. So it's a pity that all along we've not been able to organize ourselves. We've not been able to move the core from production, consumption to production. So we should do better. Going forward, we should do better. Get involved. Ensure that you mobilize your community, mobilize your friends, your allies, your kids, your family, your brothers, your sister, everybody with one message. We have a country to save. And it is the highest docility for an individual to sit on the fence waiting for a country to fix itself. It never done that way. We must all take responsibility for the survival of this country. We must get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how far we can take on tonight's program. See you tomorrow. I remain your host, Mr. Akko Christian Achel, otherwise known as Due Process. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and taking on events as they come our way. Until then, do have a lovely evening. And remember to subscribe to COPDEM Media TV. Please, it's one step forward in your civic responsibility journey. Subscribe to platform that projects and promotes good governance. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on the subscription button to be part of COPDEM Media TV so that collectively we can push towards a new Nigeria that is possible. All right, thank you and God bless you. Have a lovely night rest. Bye-bye.